Hello and welcome back to the Pudding Shop. This week we're featuring asparagus. It's our in-season vegetable. So here I've selected some asparagus. I would recommend that you choose asparagus that have darker tips, they are fresher, and then go with a medium size. The bigger they are, the more bitter they are. And then here I've cooked a few prior to this. With asparagus, the trick is to put it into boiling water and to add just a pinch of bicarb, just to keep it fresh and green and to bring out the flavor. And a little bit of salt, and just to boil them for about 3 minutes. Today we're going to make the pesto with noodles. I've got some dried rice noodles here. These are the cooked ones. I'm going to show you how we can cook them without heating them on the stove, just simply with some hot water in a bowl, and you just let it stand for 2 minutes. Then we've got, for ingredients, chili is optional in this recipe. I like to add some chili just for color, but you can either do some fresh chili or some dried chili. I like to add chili to my food, but if you don't want to add chili, you can add either just a little bit of paprika for color, or you can leave it out altogether. Some coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is an alternative to sugar. It's made from coconut blossoms, and it just takes that little bit of tautness away from the asparagus. Some lemon zest. Lemon zest adds, again, freshness, and it is a nice enhancer of anything green. Some parsley, just for color. Some sun-dried tomato. Soak them maybe the night before you're going to make this pesto. Keep them in the fridge, and then they'll just be full of flavor and very juicy. And then some almonds, just to make the pesto a little more flavoursome and also to add a bit of body to it. A quick tip with almonds is you can either oven roast them at low temperature, or alternate to that, for a healthier option, you can just add them directly. If you're allergic to almonds, you can use either pumpkin seeds or sesame seeds. Then some Himalayan crystal salt and some black pepper. Salt and pepper in every recipe is just a grounder. It just adds that little bit of whatever the vegetable needs to bring out its flavor. Then we're going to use some olive oil, and we've got some lemon juice. So let's make the asparagus pesto. You'll add 1 bunch of asparagus, and then you'll add all your spices. So some lemon zest, I would say a good healthy pinch, a little pinch of coconut blossom sugar, quite a bit of parsley. I'm going to add a chili to this one. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a splash of lemon juice, and then your almonds. So almonds, I would say, to make a pesto, because you can always freeze this pesto afterwards, add a whole cup of almonds. And then you're ready to blend. I like to keep some of the harder bits in, just to add that extra green color. So you can see that there's some almond in there, there's some asparagus in there, and just looks exciting. So just scoop all of that in there, and careful not to blend it too much to lose that green shades of different green color and texture and the raw almond. Now we're going to cut some of these sun-dried tomatoes. You can tear them into chunks, or you can chop them with a knife. I like to add a lot of chunkiness to it. Lots of pieces, lots of chunks. I would say about half a cup of sun-dried tomato. You then can start blending it into your pesto and just stirring it up so that you'll see now the different colors. It's almost like the little Italian flag. The red and the green and the raw almond in there. So now we are ready to add our noodles to our pesto dish. So take your bowl and then use a generous portion, and then you just blend that into your pesto until you've got your noodles covered with all your beautiful green asparagus and sun-dried tomato pesto. So now we're ready to plate our noodles. So what you'll do is you'll take a nice generous portion, you'll plate them onto the plate, you'll add a little bit of sun-dried tomato as a garnish, and just sprinkle it with a little bit of chopped parsley, and then you'll just stick in some nice chopsticks for eating. And then there you're done. Serve with some green tea, and then you're ready for your asparagus and sun-dried tomato pesto.
Hi, Hi, my name is Hein and this is my sister Madeleine. We're from a small fishing village in the west coast called Lambert's Bay. It's a crayfish mecca of South Africa, definitely.
So we at the Crayfish or the Crayfish Festival. The festival has been going on for over 15 years. People come from all over the country to come and eat crayfish. It's in the heart of the West Coast. We have lots of crayfish factories, and yeah, just availability. And that's why people come, and they can come here, eat as much crayfish as they want. So normally there's season times for crayfish. There's only certain days in a year that you are allowed to catch crayfish.
It's more of a February, March thing where crayfish comes to shore to pair in that 2 months. So then it's no challenge to catch them. They come to shore in their masses. I don't know who's counting them, but if you experience the whole under the water thing, where in a month like February, March, where you see millions and millions of crayfish everywhere, then it's hard to believe that people think that it can go in danger.
So this is the West Coast rock lobster. It looks different than the lobster or the crayfish that you will get on the East Coast. This is a raw crayfish. And once it's cooked, it'll change color to a more like orange-red type of color. So once you caught the crayfish, you will boil it. It takes 20 minutes. Then you can eat the crayfish just like this, and then just dig in. Or if you want to have a grilled crayfish, you will only steam or cook it for about 15 minutes. Then you will cut the crayfish in half, then garlic butter, and then you grill it on the braai.
The whole crayfish diving process, the crays travel backwards. So they will crawl backwards into a hole, for instance, and then the diver will actually wrestle it out of the hole. You can't dive crayfish on a rough sea because you dive under the rocks, you go into small spaces. It's not actually easy to dive crayfish. You must take years of skill and master the art of crayfish diving, definitely. Preferable weather would be a nice calm sea, nice, maybe a bit misty, no wind, and that's probably the most important thing. Also, if you go crayfish diving, the weather.